One wrong text message. That's all it takes to destroy everything you've worked for, or to change your life forever. Noah Parker stared at his phone screen on the CTA train, his daughter's dinner cooling in a bag beside him. He'd meant to text his best friend Tyler about his brilliant, untouchable boss. Instead, he sent it to her. 5 words he could never take back. My boss is so hot. Now, he's standing in Ava Sterling's glass office 30 floors above Chicago, watching his reflection in the window and wondering if he'll have a job in the next 60 seconds. But here's what he doesn't know yet: this mistake won't end his career. It'll expose a conspiracy tear down a corrupt power structure and force 2 guarded people to choose between safety and the terrifying possibility of real love. This is the story of what happens when one catastrophic error becomes the most honest thing you've ever done. Drop a like and tell me where you're watching from. You're going to want to see how this unfolds. The door clicks shut behind him. That sound, that soft mechanical finality, feels like the last nail in a coffin he built himself with his own stupidity. Ava. Sterling doesn't look up from her laptop. The skyline behind her is all steel and glass, and March sunlight cutting through lingering winter clouds. Lake Michigan stretches gray and infinite beyond the towers. Her office smells like expensive coffee and the faint citrus of whatever perfume costs more than his rent. She's wearing navy. She always wears navy. Harper asked him about that once, and he'd laughed it off, but his daughter sees things adults pretend not to notice. Close the door, Mr. Parker. Her voice is measured, not cold, just controlled in a way that makes him feel like a kid called to the principal's office, except the principal graduated summa cum laude from Wharton and turned around a failing media division in 18 months. He closes it, stands there with his hands in his pockets because he doesn't know what else to do with them. About your message. She finally looks up. Her eyes are the kind of blue that probably looked soft once, maybe when she was younger, before she learned that softness gets you exactly nowhere in a boardroom full of men who think tradition means their opinion matters more than your expertise. I'm so sorry. It was meant for Tyler, my friend, and I wasn't thinking. I was tired. Harper had just asked me something about homework, and I was juggling groceries, and the train was loud, and he's babbling. He knows he's babbling. He stops. A beat of silence. Outside, a helicopter passes. Inside, the heating system hums. So, your friend Tyler is who you discuss my appearance with. Her tone gives nothing away. He can't tell if she's amused or furious or already mentally drafting the termination paperwork. Yeah. Once. That once tonight. I mean, not regularly. I don't sit around objectifying you. You walked past my desk today, and you were wearing that scarf, the silk one, and Tyler had just sent me a meme about workplace crushes being the worst idea in human history, and I thought it was funny to prove his point, so Mr. Parker. He shuts up. Should I be flattered or concerned that a subordinate finds me attractive enough to text about? The question hangs there. He has no idea how to answer it honestly without making everything worse. I don't know. At least that's true. She slides a folder across her desk. He doesn't move to take it. They want me gone. The board. Not all of them, but enough. Conrad Blake and his generation, the ones who think media companies should still operate like it's 1987. They want someone who defers. Someone who doesn't push back when they suggest we court advertisers who traffic in conspiracy theories because the CPMs are good. They're looking for any excuse, any optics issue, any suggestion of impropriety. He finally understands. This isn't about him being inappropriate. It's about her being vulnerable. And a text like yours, if it got out, if someone wanted to make it a story about the young female CEO who can't maintain professional boundaries, she doesn't finish. She doesn't have to. I'll resign, today. I'll say it's personal reasons, the family stuff, whatever you need. I won't make this harder for you. She almost smiles, almost. That's very noble. Also, very stupid. We just landed preliminary interest from Highland Outdoor. You know Highland. Everyone knows Highland. Legacy brand, 130 years of making gear for people who actually climb mountains instead of just posting about it on Instagram. Their ads used to be iconic. Now they're getting crushed by startups with better social strategies and a quarter of the history. You've been on that account for 6 weeks, and you've done more to move the needle than the last 3 teams combined. Highland is specifically asking for you on the pitch. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to win Highland. Decisively. And I'm going to use that win to shut down every whisper that I can't run this company without letting personal drama interfere with business. But you think I got here by running from complications? She leans back. Her expression is unreadable. I got here by being better than everyone expected and twice as careful. So we're going to be extremely aggressively professional. You report to me. You do brilliant work. I evaluate that work fairly, and we give them nothing. Understood? He nods. Good. Now get out of my office and go home to your daughter. I assume she's why you were carrying groceries on the CTA at 8 p.m. She is. Then she's lucky to have you. He turns to leave. His hand is on the door when she speaks again. And, Mr. Parker, for what it's worth, that scarf was a gift from my mother. She died when I was 26. I wear it on hard days. Today was a hard day. He doesn't know what to say to that. So he just nods again and leaves. And the elevator ride down feels like falling through space. His apartment in Logan Square is small but warm. Mismatched furniture from 3 different decades, a galaxy projector. Harper begged for last Christmas that turns the ceiling into a universe of stars. Art projects taped to the fridge in layers. There's a photo of Maya in a silver frame on the bookshelf. Harper has her mother's smile, that slightly crooked thing that made his heart stop the first time he saw it, and still does when his daughter laughs. Harper's at the kitchen table, spelling words for a test tomorrow. She's 8, but she reads like she's 12 and worries like she's 30. Dad, you're late. Did you get fired? Why would I get fired? You had that look. The look you get when something's weird. Nothing's weird, Bug. Just a long day. She narrows her eyes at him. Kids are like tiny detectives. They notice everything. Does your boss really wear blue every day? Most days. Why? Just wondering. She goes back to her spelling. He makes soup the kind from a can because it's already past bedtime and he's tired, and sometimes good enough is good enough. They eat together on the couch. She tells him about the science fair project she's planning, something involving volcanoes and chemical reactions. He listens and makes the right encouraging sounds and tries not to think about Ava Sterling's office or the folder she'd slid across her desk or the way she'd said that scarf was her mother's. Later, after Harper's asleep, he opens his laptop. There are emails from the Highland team. Questions about demographics about their core customer versus their aspirational customer, about how to honor legacy without looking like a museum piece. He thinks about what Ava said. Win Highland, decisively. He's going to do more than win it. He's going to make it impossible for anyone to question whether he belongs here. At Sterling Media, in Ava's glassed-in office 40 floors above the city, she's still working. The building is mostly empty now. Cleaning crews move through the halls with quiet efficiency. Her desk lamp makes a small pool of warm light in the darkness. There's a framed photo on her credenza. Her father, her mother. Herself at 20, before business school, before she learned that being brilliant wasn't enough if you were also young and female, and unwilling to smile through condescension. Conrad Blake's latest email sits in her inbox like a landmine. The subject line reads Board Concerns. The body is 3 paragraphs of carefully worded suggestions that she might want to consider a more collaborative approach, that some members feel her style is too aggressive, that perception matters as much as performance. She knows what it really means. They're circling, looking for weakness. Her phone buzzes. A text from her college roommate, the one person who still calls her Ava instead of Ms. Sterling or ma'am. How was your day? She considers lying. Instead, she types the truth. Someone texted me that I'm hot. On accident. Now I have to figure out if that's a problem or just proof that I'm still human under all this armor. Her roommate's response comes fast. Was he cute? Ava looks at her reflection in the dark window. At 33, she's exactly who she worked to become. Competent, respected, lonely in ways she doesn't let herself think about because there's no time and no space and no room for wanting things that don't fit neatly into quarterly earnings reports. She doesn't answer the question. The next morning, Noah drops Harper at school. It's one of those early April days where Chicago can't decide if it's still winter or finally spring. The sky is bright, but the wind has teeth. Harper grabs her backpack, which is approximately half her body weight, and pauses at the car door. Love you more than, always, more than yesterday. It's their thing. The call and response that started the week after Maya died when everything felt impossible, and the only way forward was in tiny increments of more than yesterday, more than last week, more than the worst moments. She runs toward the school entrance, then spins back. Dad does your boss wear blue every single day. Go to school bug. She grins and disappears through the doors. At Sterling Media, the strategy room becomes Noah's second home. Whiteboards covered in notes. Half-empty coffee cups. The smell of dry erase markers and ambition. He's building something, not just a pitch, but a complete repositioning. The big idea crystallizes around 3 a.m. on a Wednesday. Highland's problem isn't that they're old. It's that they're letting nostalgia define them instead of propel them. Their competitors are selling aspiration to people who'll never climb anything higher than a corporate ladder. Highland should sell authenticity to people who actually do hard things, built for forward. That's the tagline. Not built for the past, not built for show. Built for the person who needs gear that works when it matters, who values function over flash, who understands that real adventure isn't about the photo you post, but the moment you live. The strategy builds from there. Pop-up experiential installations along the Riverwalk. Partnerships with local climbing gyms and trail running groups. A content series featuring real Highland customers, not influencers doing real things. Micro-targeted digital campaigns that treat outdoor enthusiasts like a community instead of a demographic. He works until his eyes burn, until the sun comes up and the office starts filling with people and he realizes he never went home. Ava finds him in the strategy room at 7:30 a.m. She's holding 2 coffees. She sets one on the table near his laptop without comment. You look terrible. Thanks. She studies the whiteboards. Her expression doesn't change, but he watches her eyes move across the concepts, the metrics, the creative brief. She's seeing it. He can tell. The pitch is Friday. You have 3 days to turn this into something the Highland team can't say no to. I know. Their director of marketing is particularly skeptical of agencies promising authenticity. She thinks it's a word people use when they can't deliver results. Then we show her results. Ava picks up a marker, adds a note to one of the whiteboards. A metric he hadn't considered. A proof point that makes the case stronger. The board meets next Tuesday. If Highland signs, that's ammunition. If they don't, Conrad will use it as evidence that I'm letting personal distractions compromise business judgment. There are no personal distractions. She meets his eyes. The moment stretches. There's something there, some current of acknowledgement that they're both pretending doesn't exist. Keep it that way, Mr. Parker. She leaves. He drinks the coffee she brought. It's exactly how he takes it, which means she noticed, which means she's been paying attention in ways that have nothing to do with performance reviews. Friday arrives like a deadline and a detonation. The Highland team sits on one side of Sterling Media's largest conference room. Their CEO, their CMO, their creative director all dressed in fleece and technical fabric like they just came from a trail run. On the other side, Sterling executives. Conrad Blake in the back watching everything with the expression of a man who knows how to weaponize disappointment. And Ava at the head of the table, perfectly composed. Noah stands. His hands are steady. His voice is clear. He's been presenting to rooms full of skeptics since he was 25 and learned that being underestimated is only a disadvantage if you let it be. He doesn't tell them what Highland is. He shows them what Highland could become. The presentation is all experience. Video mock-ups of the Riverwalk installations, prototypes of the content series, hard data on engagement metrics, market share recovery, brand lift among core demographics without alienating their heritage customer base. He shows them how to be bold without abandoning who they are, how to grow without selling out. The Highland CMO leans forward. Her eyes are bright. She's seeing it. Conrad interrupts halfway through. This feels risky. Highland has spent over a century building brand equity on tradition. Why would they gamble that on experiential marketing to millennials who'll forget them the moment someone offers them a better Instagram aesthetic? Ava's voice cuts through before Noah can respond. They're not gambling on millennials. They're investing in people who actually climb mountains. People who buy gear based on whether it'll keep them alive at altitude, not whether it'll get them likes. That's not risk. That's returning to what made Highland matter in the first place. She doesn't look at Noah. She doesn't have to. The message is clear. She's not just defending the work, she's defending him. The pitch continues. By the end, the Highland CEO is nodding. Their creative director is taking notes. Even their skeptical CMO is smiling. We'll need to discuss this internally. But I'll be honest, this is the first pitch that hasn't felt like someone trying to turn us into something we're not. You're giving us a path to evolve while staying Highland. That matters. They shake hands. Professional, careful. Noah watches them leave and feels the adrenaline start to fade, replaced by exhaustion and something close to hope. Conrad catches him near the espresso machine 10 minutes later. Enjoy the win. Just don't mistake professional courtesy for friendship. And don't confuse Ms. Sterling's defense of your work with anything more personal. She's protecting the company, not you. Remember your place, Mr. Parker. His tone is pleasant. His meaning is poison. I'm not sure what you're implying. Conrad smiles. It doesn't reach his eyes. I'm not implying anything. Just offering advice. Boundaries exist for a reason. In business, in life, best to remember that. He walks away. Noah stands there holding a tiny espresso cup and feeling like he's been warned off something he didn't even know he was approaching. Ava finds him in the hallway 20 minutes later. The building is quieter now. Most people have left for the weekend. Dinner. To celebrate Highland. Bring Harper. That's not kid-friendly. I'm surprisingly competent with 8-year-olds. 7 p.m. I'll text you the address. She's gone before he can argue. The restaurant is warm light and paper-covered tables where kids can draw while they wait. Not fancy. Just good. Harper zeroes in on Ava immediately, the way kids do when they sense someone who'll treat them like a person instead of a prop. You're my dad's boss. Ava doesn't miss a beat. That's right. And your dad is annoyingly good at his job. He messes up his laundry. Everyone has weaknesses. Harper grins. She likes Ava. Noah can tell. His daughter has been careful with adults since Maya died, cautious about letting people in, but something about Ava's directness puts her at ease. They talk about the science fair project. Ava asks genuine questions. She doesn't condescend. She doesn't pretend to find volcanoes more interesting than she actually does. She just listens, and Harper blooms under the attention. A server drops a tray of mac and cheese. The crash is spectacular. Harper and Ava both laugh, and the sound is so natural, so unguarded, that Noah feels something crack open in his chest. Outside, near their cars, the snow is piling up again. April in Chicago is a joke that never gets old. Harper's incredible. Ava says it quietly, almost carefully. She is. She's the reason I kept going when keeping going felt impossible. They're hovering on some edge. Not crossing it, not yet, but aware of it in a way that makes the cold air feel charged. Then we're back to work on Monday, and everything returns to its careful equilibrium. The space between what is and what could be measured in inches, and professionalism, and all the reasons why complicated is another word for dangerous. Monday morning arrives with the news everyone expected, but nobody wanted to predict out loud. Highland signs. Not just the campaign Noah pitched, but a 2-year partnership with options to extend. The contract is the kind of win that changes fiscal quarters and validates entire strategies. The office buzzes with it. People who barely acknowledged Noah's existence last month now nod at him in the elevator. Someone from accounting actually learns his name. Ava calls a team meeting. She's precise about credit. She names everyone who contributed, breaks down exactly what each person brought to the table, makes it clear that wins like this are collective, even when one person carries the creative vision. But she also doesn't diminish what Noah built. She lets the work speak. Conrad Blake is absent. His empty chair at the end of the conference table feels more present than if he'd actually shown up. Afterward, in the hallway outside the executive wing, a junior strategist stops Noah. "That was incredible. The Highland pitch. I've been here 4 years, and I've never seen Conrad look that uncomfortable during a win. Whatever you did, it matters. I just did the work." The strategist shakes her head. "No. You did work that makes it harder for them to ignore the rest of us. That's different." She walks away before he can ask what she means. That night, Noah stays late finishing documentation Highland requested. The building empties. Security makes rounds. The city beyond the windows shifts into its after-hours rhythm, all neon and movement and lives being lived in 1,000 directions at once. He doesn't hear Ava approach until she's standing in his doorway. "You're still here. Highland wants the content calendar by Wednesday. I'm just getting ahead of it." She leans against the doorframe. She's taken off her blazer, loosened the careful structure she wears like armor. She looks almost human. "You don't have to prove anything else. You won." They signed. Conrad can't touch that. He doesn't look up from his laptop. Can't he? A pause. Then she steps into his office and closes the door. Not all the way. Just enough that passing security won't assume they're having the kind of conversation that needs reporting. "What did he say to you at the espresso machine?" Noah finally looks at her. "That I should remember my place. That you're protecting the company, not me. That boundaries exist for reasons." Ava's jaw tightens. It's the first crack in her composure he's seen since the night she told him about her mother's scarf. Conrad spent 20 years at this company watching mediocre men get promoted over brilliant women because they knew the right golf courses and the right handshakes. When my father brought me in, Conrad smiled and called me kiddo and suggested I start in marketing coordination. When I rebuilt an entire division he'd nearly destroyed through negligence, he told the board I was aggressive. When I pushed back on ad partnerships with sites spreading vaccine misinformation, he said I was letting politics interfere with profit. She's not looking at Noah anymore. She's looking past him at something only she can see. He wants me gone because I won't pretend his way of doing business is the only way. And he'll use anything, any optics issue, any suggestion that I'm not completely focused, any hint that my judgment might be compromised. I won't be your liability. She meets his eyes then. Something flickers in her expression. Anger or frustration, or maybe just exhaustion. You think you're a liability? You just landed the biggest account this division has seen in 3 years. You made Conrad look irrelevant. That's not liability, that's a threat to everything he's built his identity on. Then why does it feel like we're both waiting for the other shoe to drop? The question hangs between them. Outside, a siren wails past. Inside, the heating system clicks on, fills the silence with white noise. "Because we are." She says it so quietly he almost doesn't hear her. Then she straightens, pulls the armor back on like a coat she never gets to take off. "Go home, Noah. Your daughter needs you more than Highland needs that content calendar tonight." She leaves. He watches her walk down the hallway, heels clicking against polished floors, posture perfect even when nobody's watching. He doesn't go home. Not yet. Instead, he opens a new document and starts building out the Highland Creative Calendar in detail so complete that nobody can question whether he's earned his place here. The next 2 weeks are a study in professional distance. Ava treats him exactly like she treats everyone else. Fair. Demanding. Impossible to read. They have 3 meetings about Highland execution. She pushes back on 2 of his ideas and approves 4 others, and never once lets her expression suggest anything beyond strategic evaluation. At night, alone in his apartment while Harper sleeps, Noah tells himself this is exactly what it should be. Professional, clean, uncomplicated. He's lying to himself and he knows it. Harper notices first, kids always do. They're making pancakes on a Saturday morning, the kind of slow, easy weekend ritual that feels like the opposite of his work week. Harper's mixing batter. He's slicing strawberries. NPR plays softly from the speaker on the counter. You think about her a lot. Who? Harper gives him a look that says she's 8, not stupid. Your boss. Ms. Sterling. You get this expression when you talk about work now, like you're solving a puzzle but also kind of happy about it. I like my job, that's allowed. It's different than before. She's right. It is different. Everything's different. He just doesn't know how to explain that to his daughter without explaining things he doesn't understand himself. People change. Jobs change. It's all good change, bug. Promise. She accepts this with the easy faith of children who still believe their parents when they say things will be okay. He wishes he had that kind of certainty about anything. That afternoon, Harper's friend group meets at the climbing gym. It's a new routine, something the school counselor suggested after Maya died. Physical activity. Social connection. Building confidence through literal and metaphorical challenges. Noah watches from the parent area as Harper scales a wall designed for kids her age. She's fearless in ways that terrify and inspire him in equal measure. Reaches for holds that seem impossible. Trusts her body to do things his anxiety tells him are dangerous. She's almost to the top when her foot slips. It happens fast. One moment she's climbing, the next she's falling. The safety harness catches her, but she swings hard into the wall. Her cry of pain cuts through the gym noise like a knife. Noah's moving before he thinks. He's there when the instructor lowers her down. Her wrist is already swelling. She's crying, but trying not to, trying to be brave because that's what she does. That's what she's done since she was 6, and her mother died and her whole world became about being strong enough not to break. Hey, it's okay. We're going to get this checked out. You're okay. But she's not okay. Her wrist is fractured. Not badly, the ER doctor says. Clean break. 6 weeks in a cast. Could have been worse. Noah sits beside her hospital bed while they wait for the orthopedist to come do the final casting. Harper's dozed off exhausted from crying and adrenaline crash. He texts Tyler to let him know what happened. Then, without quite deciding to, he texts Ava. Harper broke her wrist at the climbing gym. We're at Northwestern. She's okay, but it's been a day. He doesn't expect a response. It's Saturday evening. She has no obligation to care about his daughter's injury beyond the bare minimum of professional courtesy. His phone buzzes 30 seconds later. Family first. Update me when you can. 3 hours later, they're home. Harper's set up on the couch with the galaxy projector turning the ceiling into stars, and a movie queued up and enough pillows to build a fort. She's exhausted, but calm. The pain medication helps. Noah's making tea when someone knocks. He's not expecting anyone. For a wild second, he thinks maybe it's Tyler, though Tyler would text first. He opens the door. Ava Sterling stands on his threshold, holding a small gift bag, looking suddenly uncertain in a way he's never seen her look in the office. I brought... She stops, starts again. I wasn't sure what 8-year-olds with broken wrists need, so I brought options. You didn't have to come. I know. She doesn't move. Neither does he. The moment extends awkward and genuine and nothing like their careful office choreography. Harper's voice floats from the couch. Dad, who is it? It's Ms. Sterling, Bug, my boss. Tell her to come in. It's cold. Ava's mouth... quirks, almost a smile. Inside, she proves surprisingly competent with injured 8-year-olds. The gift bag contains a friendship bracelet kit designed for one, handed Use a book about women who climbed mountains and a container of fancy hot chocolate mix with a note that says, "For brave adventurers." Harper's eyes go wide. This is so cool. Thank you, Miss Sterling. Just Ava is fine, and you're welcome. I broke my collarbone falling off a horse when I was 9. I remember how much it sucked not being able to do normal things. You rode horses. My mother thought it would make me elegant. Mostly, it made me stubborn. I kept getting back on, even though I was terrified. Harper considers this with the seriousness of someone evaluating an important truth. Did you stop being scared? No. I just decided being scared was less important than doing things I cared about. Noah watches this exchange from the kitchen doorway. Watches his daughter, who's been so careful with new people, open up like a flower finding sun. Watches Ava, who armors herself for boardrooms, be genuinely gentle with a hurt kid. Harper falls asleep 20 minutes later mid-sentence about her science fair volcano. Ava helps Noah arrange pillows so the injured wrist stays elevated. They move to the kitchen, keeping their voices low. The tea's probably cold by now, but I can make more. She leans against his counter, the same counter where he's made 1,000 school lunches and late-night snacks and Sunday morning pancakes. Having her here in his actual life, instead of the cordoned-off professional space they usually occupy, feels surreal. I'm okay. I should probably go. I just wanted to make sure Harper was all right. She's tough. Tougher than she should have to be. She learned that from you. He doesn't know how to respond to that. So he just stands there holding a cold mug of tea, trying to find words for something that doesn't have a name yet. Ava straightens, reaches for her coat. I shouldn't have come. Not really. It's not appropriate. You're my employee. Harper's a child. There are boundaries, and I'm glad you came. The words stop her. She turns. Noah. It's the first time she's used his first name outside the office. The first time she's let that particular wall drop. I like you. Not as my boss. Not as Ms. Sterling. As you. I've been trying not to. I've been trying to be professional and appropriate and all the things Conrad would use against you if he knew. But I'm tired of pretending I don't notice when you drink your coffee black because you think milk is inefficient, or that you wear your mother's scarf on hard days, or that you actually listen when Harper talks about volcanoes instead of just making polite sounds. She's staring at him. Not moving. Just staring like he said something in a language she forgot she knew. I like you too. Since before the text. Since that team meeting in January when you called out the Highland team's previous agency for phoning it in, and you did it so carefully that nobody could claim you were being harsh, but everyone knew you were right. I went home that night and thought about you for 3 hours, and hated myself for it. Because you report to me and I have enemies waiting for any excuse, and I don't get to want things that could compromise everything I've built. The confession hangs between them, raw, real, terrifying. So what do we do? She shakes her head, not in answer, in uncertainty. I don't know. I've spent my whole career being smarter than everyone expects, careful enough that they can't find weaknesses. And now I'm standing in your kitchen wanting to stay and knowing I should leave, and I have no idea which choice is the right one. Harper makes a small sound from the couch, not awake, just shifting in sleep. The moment breaks. I should go. Ava says it, but doesn't move. Noah takes a half step toward her, then another. Close enough that he can see the exact shade of blue in her eyes, close enough to count her heartbeat in the pulse at her throat. If this were different. If we were different people in a different situation. But we're not. No, we're not. She touches his hand. Just for a second. Fingertips to knuckles. A point of contact that means everything and nothing and something they can't afford to name. Then she's gone. The door closes softly. Noah stands in his kitchen listening to footsteps fade down the hallway and wondering when exactly his life became an equation he doesn't know how to solve. Sunday passes in a haze of cartoons and leftover pizza and keeping Harper comfortable. She's a champion patient, asking for things only when she really needs them, trying to be independent even with one arm in a cast. Monday morning, Noah's phone rings while he's helping Harper brush her teeth one-handed. Unknown number. He almost doesn't answer. Mr. Parker, this is Miss Patel from Lincoln Elementary. His stomach drops. Is Harper okay? She's fine. I'm calling about an incident on Friday, before the climbing gym. There was a situation with another student. What kind of situation? Miss Patel's voice goes carefully neutral, the tone educators use when they're about to tell you something you won't want to hear. Harper was in the library during lunch. Another student, Ryan Chen, made some comments about her mother, about how Harper's mom was gone, and that made Harper different. Harper told him to stop. When he didn't, she took his book and threw it across the library. Noah closes his eyes. Was anyone hurt? No. But library books aren't meant to be projectiles. And while we understand Harper was provoked, we have a zero-tolerance policy for, I'll talk to her, it won't happen again. After the call ends, he sits Harper down. She looks miserable. I'm sorry, he was being mean and I got mad. What did he say exactly? That you're probably going to marry Ms. Sterling because she came to the hospital, and that means I'll have a new mom who probably won't even like me. Noah feels something crack in his chest. Bug. First, Ms. Sterling came to the hospital because she's a kind person, not because we're getting married. Second, nobody's replacing your mom, ever. And third, anyone who got to know you would be lucky. You're incredible. But what if you do like her, like her? There it is. The question underneath the question. The thing Harper's been circling for weeks. Would that be okay with you? If I liked someone, eventually. Harper thinks about this with the gravity of someone 3 times her age. I guess. If they're nice to you. And if they don't pretend to like volcanoes when they think volcanoes are boring. Noted. Is Miss Sterling nice to you? She's very professional. That's not what I asked. He can't lie to his daughter. He's never been able to lie to his daughter. Yeah, she's nice to me. Harper nods, satisfied. Crisis resolved in the simple way only kids can resolve things. Okay. But if you marry her, can I still have my own room? Nobody's getting married, Bug. But if then yes. Your own room, always. At work, everything returns to its careful equilibrium. Or tries to. Noah keeps his head down, executes Highland's content calendar, flawlessly avoids being alone with Ava in any context that could look problematic. It lasts exactly 4 days. Thursday afternoon, Conrad requests a meeting with Ava. Noah only knows because Elena from HR mentions it in passing, her expression tight with something that looks like concern. Do you know what it's about? Elena glances around, lowers her voice. I can't discuss personnel matters, but if I were you, I'd document everything. Every meeting, every email, every conversation, times, dates, witnesses, everything. The warning is clear even if the details aren't. That night, Noah gets a text from Ava. Just a time and a location. An address in River North. Not her office, not his apartment. Neutral territory. He finds her at a wine bar that's trying too hard to be sophisticated. She's in the back corner, already halfway through a glass of something red. Conrad's making his move. He went to the board with concerns about judgment, about optics, about me visiting your apartment while you had a family emergency. How does he know about that? Someone saw me leave your building. A neighbor, probably. Or maybe he's actually having me followed. Either way, he's framing it as evidence that I can't separate personal from professional. But nothing happened. She laughs. It's bitter. Doesn't matter. The appearance is enough. He's calling for an ethics review. Wants HR to investigate whether there's been any inappropriate relationship between us. Whether I've shown you favoritism. Whether the Highland win was legitimate or just me helping someone I'm personally involved with. That's insane. I won Highland because the work was brilliant. You can verify every metric, every deliverable, every... I know. She cuts him off. I know the work is solid. But Conrad doesn't need it to not be solid. He just needs enough smoke that the board starts questioning my judgment. And if they're questioning my judgment, they're questioning whether I should be running this division. So we tell them the truth, that you came to check on an injured child, that it was kind, not inappropriate, that there's nothing between us. He watches her face as he says it, watches something flicker and die. Is there nothing between us? The question lands like a punch. You know there is. Then we have a problem, because if we admit that even if nothing's happened, Conrad wins. And if we lie and he finds any proof otherwise, he still wins. We're trapped either way. Noah reaches across the table, takes her hand. Public space. Witnesses. Proof of exactly what Conrad wants to find. Then we stop being trapped. We do this right. We go to HR ourselves. We disclose. We follow whatever protocols exist. We take away his ammunition by being completely transparent. And if they make you transfer, if they decide the optics are too messy and one of us has to go, he squeezes her hand. Then I go. Highland secured, you're safe. That matters more. She pulls away, not angry, just sad. You'd give up everything you've built here. I'd give it up for something real. I'm tired of choosing safety over truth. Outside Chicago does what it does. Lives layering on top of lives. A million people making a million choices about what they're willing to risk for what they want. Ava sits there in the dim light of an overpriced wine bar, and Noah watches her decide whether to be brave or careful, whether to trust that honesty might be worth more than protection. Finally, she nods. Monday. We meet with Elena. We tell her everything. We let the process happen. Monday. They sit there a little longer. Not touching. Not talking. Just existing in the same space, two people who found each other through chaos and are choosing not to look away, even when looking away would be simpler. When they leave, they walk to their cars separately. Professional distance. But Noah carries the weight of her decision like a promise. And for the first time in months, he feels like maybe the truth is worth whatever it costs. The weekend stretches long and strange. Noah takes Harper to her follow-up appointment Saturday morning. The orthopedist says everything looks good, the bone is setting properly. She'll be back to climbing in 6 weeks if she's careful. On the drive home, Harper's quiet, processing something. Dad, do you think Ms. Sterling really likes volcanoes, or was she just being nice? Why does it matter? Because if she was just being nice, that's okay. But if she actually thinks they're cool, that's better. Like you can tell when grown-ups are faking it. I think she genuinely found your volcano interesting. She asked real questions, not parent questions. Harper nods satisfied. Then after a beat, Ryan Chen said his mom said that lady bosses are mean because they have to be or nobody respects them. Is Ms. Sterling mean? No, she's demanding. That's different. She expects people to do their best work because she does her best work. That's not mean. That's having standards. Is she your friend? The question lands heavier than it should. Noah keeps his eyes on the road, on the gray sprawl of Chicago pushing past the windows. I don't know what we are yet. We're figuring it out. That's honest enough that Harper accepts it. Sunday, Noah cleans. Obsessively. Like if he scrubs the kitchen counters hard enough, he can organize his thoughts the same way. Harper watches cartoons with her cast propped on pillows, occasionally calling out commentary about characters making poor decisions. His phone buzzes. Ava. Talk to Elena. She's clear on what Monday means. Full disclosure. Conflict of interest protocols. Possible reassignment. Are you sure? He types back immediately. I'm sure you. 3 dots appear. Disappear. Appear again. Terrified, but yes. He stares at that word. Terrified. Ava Sterling, who rebuilt an entire division and stared down board members twice her age and never let anyone see her flinch, is terrified. Me too. But we do it anyway. Her response is just a single word. Monday. That night, after Harper's asleep, Noah opens his laptop and does what Elena suggested. Documentation. He creates a timeline of every significant interaction with Ava since the mistyped text. Dates, times, witnesses present, work product. The Highland pitch materials with version history showing exactly how much came from him versus collaborative input. Email chains proving that his ideas were challenged and refined, not rubber-stamped. He documents the night Ava came to his apartment, the exact time she arrived, the fact that Harper was there the entire time, the gift bag's contents, the length of her visit. Nothing happened, but if Conrad's painting a picture of impropriety, Noah wants the frame to be accurate. He finds the email chain from 3 weeks ago, back when Highland first flagged concerns about one of their vendors' data security practices. Noah had forwarded it immediately to Sterling's IT department with a note, "This feels off. Can someone verify their protocols?" IT had run checks, found irregularities in how that vendor handled client data, found metadata trails suggesting information was being routed through unauthorized channels. Noah had pushed Highland to pause that vendor relationship until Sterling's security team could do a full audit. Highland had been grateful, impressed by the diligence. But now, looking at the metadata timestamps, Noah sees something else. The IP address on those irregular data routes. It traces back to a consulting firm. Blake Strategic Advisors, Conrad's consulting firm. Noah's stomach drops. He opens a new folder, starts pulling together every piece of evidence. Email headers, routing information, the security team's preliminary report. He copies it all, stores it in 3 separate locations, sends an encrypted file to Tyler with a note. If anything happens, this matters. Then he emails Elena Ruiz with a subject line that feels like jumping off a cliff. Compliance concern requires immediate attention. Monday morning arrives cold and bright. Noah drops Harper at school. She waves with her good hand cast already covered in signatures and doodles from her friends. She's resilient in ways that humble him. The Sterling Media Building looks the same as always. Glass and steel and ambition reaching toward a sky that couldn't care less. But walking through those doors feels different now, like crossing into territory where the rules are about to change. Elena's office is a glass cube on the 14th floor. She's there at 8 a.m. sharp, already reviewing documents. She looks up when Noah knocks. "Come in, close the door." Ava's on her way up. Noah sits. The chair is designed to be uncomfortable, probably on purpose. 5 minutes later, Ava arrives. She's in charcoal gray today, not navy. Her armor still immaculate, but somehow she looks smaller than usual. Vulnerable in a way he's only seen once before in his kitchen, with the tea going cold and truth hanging between them. Elena doesn't waste time. "I'm going to record this meeting. You both have the right to have legal representation present if you choose. Do you want to wait for counsel?" Ava and Noah exchange a look. He shakes his head fractionally. So does she. "We don't need lawyers. We just need to do this right." Elena presses record on a small device. States the date, time, participants. "Miss Sterling, Mr. Parker, you requested this meeting to disclose a potential conflict of interest. Go ahead." Ava sits forward. Her hands are folded on her lap, knuckles white. "Noah Parker and I have developed personal feelings for each other. Nothing physical has occurred. No romantic relationship exists yet. But there is attraction, and there is emotional connection, and we both recognize that this creates a potential conflict given our reporting structure. We're here to disclose that reality and follow whatever protocols the company requires to manage it appropriately." Elena writes notes in careful shorthand. Her expression gives nothing away. "Mr. Parker, do you agree with that characterization?" "Yes, completely." "Walk me through the timeline. When did these feelings develop?" Noah takes a breath. "For me, it started before the text message incident. I noticed her, respected her work, found myself thinking about her outside office hours. The text was an accident, but it was an accident that happened because the feelings were already there. And for you, Miss Sterling," Ava's voice is steady but quiet, "similarly. January, maybe earlier. I noticed the quality of his thinking, the way he approached problems. Then I noticed him. As a person, not just an employee. I've been trying to manage those feelings professionally. Keep appropriate distance. Treat him exactly like everyone else. But the feelings didn't disappear just because I wanted them to. Elena makes more notes. Has there been any favoritism in work assignments, compensation, or performance evaluation? No. Noah's work on Highland was merit-based. I challenged him harder than most people because I knew any perception of favoritism would be weaponized. The work speaks for itself. Mr. Parker, do you feel you've been treated fairly? Any pressure, implicit or explicit, to reciprocate personal interest? Noah almost laughs. If anything, she's held me to a higher standard. I've had to prove myself constantly. There's been no pressure, no inappropriate requests, nothing that crosses professional boundaries. We've been aggressively, almost painfully professional. Elena sits back. You're aware that Conrad Blake has raised concerns about your relationship. Ava's jaw tightens. We are. That's why we're here. To take away his ammunition by being completely transparent. And you're both prepared for the consequences of this disclosure. Potential reassignment. Restructured reporting lines, increased scrutiny. They answer in unison. Yes. Elena stops the recording. Slides 2 identical packets across her desk. These are conflict of interest management agreements. If you want to pursue a personal relationship, here's what happens. Mr. Parker, you'll be reassigned immediately to report to Senior Vice President Marcus Chen in our broadcast division. Different floor, different projects, zero overlap with Ms. Sterling's direct authority. Ms. Sterling, you'll recuse yourself from any decisions affecting Mr. Parker's compensation, performance reviews, or advancement. There will be quarterly check-ins with HR. Any complaints from either of you or from colleagues will trigger immediate review. If the relationship ends, there's a mandatory cooling-off period before you can work on the same projects again. And if there's any retaliation perceived or actual, the consequences will be severe. She pauses, making sure they're absorbing this. This is manageable, but it's permanent record territory. It will follow you both. Some people will judge you for it. Some will assume impropriety no matter how clean the documentation is. You need to be absolutely certain this is worth the professional cost. Noah looks at Ava. She looks at him. Something passes between them, wordless and clear. It's worth it. Ava says it first. Noah nods. It's worth it. They sign the forms. Elena witnesses. It feels weirdly ceremonial, like they're committing to something much bigger than HR paperwork. Now, about the compliance concern you flagged in your email. Elena pulls up Noah's message on her screen. You found metadata irregularities suggesting information leakage through Conrad Blake's consulting firm. Noah leans forward. Highland flagged a vendor 3 weeks ago. Suspicious data handling. I asked a T to investigate. They found routing patterns that didn't make sense. Information about Sterling's Highland strategy was being forwarded to external addresses. The IP traces led to Blake's strategic advisors. Elena's expression sharpens. Do you have proof? He hands over a flash drive. Email headers. Routing logs. Security team reports. Timestamps. Everything I'd pulled before I'm guessing someone told them to stop looking. She plugs in the drive. Scrolls through files. Her mouth becomes a thin line. This is industrial espionage. Potentially criminal. Why didn't you come forward sooner? I came forward the day I found it. 3 weeks ago. It ran the initial investigation. But then the inquiry got shut down. I'm guessing Conrad got wind of it and used board connections to bury the investigation. Elena closes her laptop. Looks at both of them. Here's what's going to happen. I'm taking this to our general counsel immediately. They'll bring in outside IT forensics to verify. If what you're alleging is accurate, Conrad, Blake will be removed pending investigation. But, she pauses for emphasis, this will get ugly. Conrad has allies on the board. They'll fight. They'll try to discredit both of you. They'll claim this is retaliation for his concerns about your relationship. They'll make it about you two instead of about his misconduct. Are you prepared for that? Ava doesn't hesitate. Yes, I'm tired of playing defense. If he wants to burn it all down, he can burn with it. The meeting ends. Noah and Ava walk to the elevator in silence. They're alone in the car going down. 14 floors of quiet. On floor 8, Ava hits the emergency stop button. The elevator lurches to a halt. An alarm sounds somewhere distant. What are you? She kisses him. It's not gentle. It's desperate and certain, and every bit of pressure they've been holding back for months. His hands find her waist. Hers find his collar. They're pressed against the elevator wall, breaking every rule they just promised to follow carefully, and neither of them cares. The alarm gets louder. Someone will come check. They break apart, breathing hard. That was wildly inappropriate. He's grinning. Completely unprofessional. She hits the button to restart the elevator. They straighten their clothes, try to look like they weren't just making out in a stopped elevator like teenagers. For the record, that's the first time. Before today. Nothing physical happened before this moment. Noted, also noted I really want to do it again. The elevator doors open on the lobby. Marcus Chen is standing there, probably responding to the stopped elevator alarm. He looks at them. Looks at Ava's slightly smudged lipstick. Looks at Noah's untucked shirt collar. Welcome to Broadcast Division, Parker. I expect this level of chaos is about to become my problem. Noah can't tell if he's annoyed or amused. I'm usually very professional, sir. Marcus snorts. Sure you are. Ava, the emergency board meeting is in an hour. Conference room A. You'll want to fix your face first. She touches her lips, realizes the lipstick situation, and has the grace to look embarrassed. Thank you, Marcus. He walks away, shaking his head. Ava and Noah stand in the lobby. People flow around them. The city, visible through floor-to-ceiling windows, indifferent to their small dramas. I have to go prepare. Elena's presenting the findings to the board. I know. This could go very badly. I know that too. She touches his hand. Quick, public, deliberate. Thank you for choosing truth over safety. Always. She walks toward the elevator bank. He watches her go. This woman who decided that being real mattered more than being careful. And he thinks about Maya, about the promise he made at her funeral that he'd teach Harper to be brave. About how courage looks different than he expected. Less about grand gestures, more about small choices to stop hiding. His phone buzzes. Tyler. Dude, what the hell is happening? Someone from Sterling Media just called my office asking if I can verify timeline details about some text message. Are you in trouble? Noah types back. Long story. Might be in trouble. Might be exactly where I need to be. I'll call you tonight. Tyler's response is immediate. You're being weird. I'm worried. Don't be. For the first time in 3 years, I'm not just surviving. I'm actually living. He heads to the broadcast division floor to meet his new boss, to start untangling his work from Ava's direct oversight, to begin the complicated process of being with someone while maintaining professional boundaries. His phone buzzes again. Harper's school. His heart rate spikes, but it's not an emergency. Just Ms. Patel checking in about Harper's adjustment with the cast. She's doing great. Made a joke about being part robot now. The other kids think it's cool. Tell her I'm proud of her. I think she knows. But I'll tell her anyway. Noah takes the stairs instead of the elevator. Needs the physical movement, the reminder that his body exists in space, that this is real and happening and terrifying and exactly right. Somewhere above him, Ava's walking into a conference room full of people who will decide whether truth matters more than tradition. Whether integrity beats connections. Whether two people choosing honesty over convenience is brave or just stupid. He doesn't know which way it'll fall, but he knows they chose right. That has to count for something. On the 19th floor, Marcus Chen's assistant shows him to a temporary desk. It's smaller than his old space, tucked in a corner with a view of the next building's ventilation system instead of the skyline. It's perfect. He opens his laptop, starts transitioning Highland files to his new setup. His phone lights up with a message from Ava. No words, just a photo. The view from Conference Room A, Lake Michigan, stretching gray and endless. The city spread below, and in the glass reflection her face determined and scared and ready. He saves the photo, sends back a single word. Warrior. Her response comes immediately. Don't make me cry before this meeting. Too late. 3 laughing emojis. Then, win or lose, we did it right. Yeah, we did. He watches the time tick toward 10 a.m., the hour when the board convenes, when Elena presents evidence, when everything changes. Harper's cast has a drawing of a volcano on it, purple and orange erupting with glitter. Ava helped her add the glitter that afternoon in his apartment when the world shifted on its axis, and they both started falling towards something that looked like trust. He thinks about that volcano, about pressure building under the surface, about eruptions that destroy and create simultaneously, about how sometimes the bravest thing you can do is let the pressure out before it tears you apart from the inside. His desk phone rings. Marcus. Parker. Board meeting starting. Elena says you might want to be available in case they have questions about the IT evidence. Should I come up? No. Stay put. If they need you, I'll call. Meanwhile, here's your first broadcast assignment. He rattles off details about a streaming partnership pitch. Noah takes notes, focuses on work, on doing his job well regardless of what's happening 40 floors above him. That's how you survive uncertainty. You do the next right thing, then the next, then the next. An hour passes, then 2. Noah's deep in strategy documents when his phone finally buzzes. Ava. Conference room cleared. Conrad's being escorted out by security. Emergency vote removed him from the board pending investigation. I'm confirmed as CEO with a mandate to restructure governance. We won. Noah stares at the message, reads it 3 times to make sure it's real. You won. You did this. We did this. Meet me tonight after you put Harper to bed. We should probably talk about what happens next. Her place or mine, neutral territory. That wine bar. 30. It's a date. He can almost hear her smile through the text. First official date. Finally. Finally. He leans back in his terrible desk chair, with its view of ventilation systems, and feels something uncomplicated self in his chest. It's not relief, exactly. More like recognition. That sometimes the right choice is the hard one. That sometimes you have to risk everything to find out what you're actually made of. His phone rings. Harper's school again. This time it's Harper herself calling from the office phone. Dad. Ryan Chen apologized. He said his mom told him what he said was mean and he should say sorry. So he did. And then we worked on fractions together. That's great, Bug. Are you happy? You sound happy. I am happy, really happy. Good, you should be happy more. Working on it. Okay. Love you more than yesterday. Always more than yesterday. She hangs up. Noah sits there in the broadcast division's terrible corner desk and thinks about the architecture of a life. How you build it piece by piece. How sometimes you have to tear down walls to make room for doors. How his daughter deserves to see him choose love over fear, even when it's complicated. Especially when it's complicated. The rest of the day passes in work. Real work. Challenging work. Marcus Chen turns out to be brilliant and demanding and zero tolerance for mediocrity. It's going to be good here. At 6, Noah leaves, picks up Harper from after-school care. They stop for tacos on the way home. She tells him about fractions and friendship and how her cast makes her arm feel like it belongs to someone else. At 7, after Harper's in bed with her galaxy ceiling and her chapter book and strict instructions not to stay up past 8, Noah changes shirts 3 times before giving up and wearing the blue one. The one Ava once said made him look approachable. He arrives at the wine bar at 7:25. Ava's already there, same back corner table, but this time she's smiling. Really smiling. The kind of smile that transforms her face from beautiful to radiant. He slides into the seat across from her. So, CEO. So, broadcast division. They just look at each other for a moment. The weight of the day settling. The reality of what they chose sinking in. A server appears. They order wine without looking at the menu. Red for her. Pale ale for him because he's never been a wine person and he's done pretending. Conrad's legal team is already making noise, calling it a witch hunt, claiming the IT evidence was manipulated. But the board's forensics firm verified everything. The data doesn't lie. He was selling Sterling's strategy to competitors, probably for years. Ava's voice is steady, but he can see the toll it took. The hours in that conference room. The fight. How did the board take the disclosure about us? She almost laughs. Mixed. Some thought it was admirable that we came forward. Some thought we were idiots for not just keeping it quiet. Marcus told them that if workplace romances were fireable offenses, half the executive team would be unemployed. That helped. Marcus is good people. He is. And he's going to work you into the ground. Fair warning. Looking forward to it. They sit in comfortable silence. The wine bar fills up around them. Monday night crowd. People unwinding from their own dramas. Noah watches Ava relax incrementally, the armor coming off piece by piece. What happens now? She considers the question. Now we do the boring work. I restructure governance. You build broadcast partnerships. We have quarterly meetings with HR where they verify we're following protocols. We deal with gossip and speculation and people who think we're either brave or stupid. And she pauses, reaches across the table, takes his hand. We figure out how to be us, whatever that looks like. Without the secrecy, without the fear. Just two people who chose each other and are willing to do the hard work of making that choice matter. He threads his fingers through hers. I'm good at hard work. I noticed. They talk for hours. About Harper and the science fair. About Ava's mother and the scarf and how grief doesn't disappear, it just becomes part of your architecture. About Maya and how loving her doesn't mean Noah can't love again. About the fear of being seen and the bigger fear of staying invisible forever. At 10, they walk to their cars. Separate parking garages, separate directions home. But before they split up in the cold Chicago night with the city humming around them, Ava pulls him close. Thank you for being brave enough to text the wrong person. Best mistake I ever made. She kisses him. Softer this time. Less desperation, more certainty. Then she pulls back, touches his face, and says the thing he didn't know he needed to hear. Your daughter is incredibly lucky. And so am I. She's gone before he can respond. He stands there watching her taillights disappear into traffic, thinking about luck and choice, and how sometimes they're the same thing. His phone buzzes. Tyler. Still alive. Barely. Also, possibly falling in love? Not sure which is scarier. Tyler's response is immediate. Both. Definitely both. Coffee tomorrow. You're explaining everything. Deal. Noah drives home through streets he's driven 1,000 times. But tonight they look different. Brighter somehow. Like choosing truth flipped some switch in how he sees the world. Harper's asleep when he gets home. He checks on her anyway. Adjusts her galaxy projector. Makes sure her cast is elevated. Stands there in the doorway, watching his brave, brilliant daughter sleep, and promises her and Maya and himself that he'll keep choosing courage. Keep choosing real. In his own bed before sleep takes him, he thinks about tomorrow. About the board meeting Ava will lead. About the projects Marcus will throw at him. About the life they're building that includes honesty and complexity. And two people refusing to make love simple just because simple would be easier. He thinks about his mistyped text. 5 words that changed everything. My boss is so hot. He meant it then. He means it now. But now he also means 1,000 other things. My partner is brilliant. My person is brave. The woman I'm falling for chose integrity over convenience and made me want to do the same. His last thought before sleep is Harper's question from the morning. Are you happy? Yeah, bug. For the first time in years, I really am. The emergency board meeting is scheduled for Tuesday morning. 10 a.m., conference room A on the 40th floor. The one with the view that makes visitors from smaller companies visibly uncomfortable. Noah spends Monday night preparing. Not his evidence that's already documented and copied and secured in multiple locations. He's preparing himself for the reality of standing in front of people who control his career and Ava's future and calling out someone with decades of institutional power. Harper notices at breakfast. Dad, you're doing the thing where you stir your coffee but forget to drink it. Am I? She nods solemnly. You do it when you're worried. Are you worried? A little. I have to do something hard today. Something that matters. Is it scary? Very. She considers this while spreading peanut butter on toast with her good hand. Mom used to say brave isn't not being scared. Brave is being scared and doing it anyway. Something cracks open in his chest. Maya. Still teaching him things through their daughter's perfect memory. Your mom was the smartest person I ever knew. I know. She told me that all the time. He laughs despite the weight pressing on his lungs. Drops Harper at school. Watches her run toward the entrance cast covered in increasingly elaborate drawings. She turns back once Waves mouths something that looks like you got this. He hopes she's right. Sterling Media. At 9:30 a.m. is controlled chaos. People moving with purpose toward meetings, toward deadlines, toward the thousand small battles that make up corporate life. Noah takes the elevator to 40. His new desk and broadcast is on 19, but today he's going higher. Elena meets him outside conference room A. You're early. Couldn't sleep. She studies him. Her expression is impossible to read. What you're about to do will have consequences. Conrad has friends on this board. Powerful friends. Even if the evidence is irrefutable, some of them will never forgive you for exposing him. I know, and you're doing it anyway. He thinks about Harper's cast, about Ava's scarf, about choosing truth over safety. I'm doing it anyway. Elena nods once, sharp, approving. Good. The board convenes at 10. You'll be called in to present evidence at approximately 10:30. Ava will be there, so will Conrad. This is not going to be comfortable. Comfortable stopped being the goal a while ago. She almost smiles. Then you're ready. The hallway outside conference room A fills gradually. Board members arriving. Older men, mostly a few women all dressed in the kind of expensive casualness that costs more than most people's rent. They nod to each other, make small talk about markets and portfolios and grandchildren in private schools. Conrad arrives at 9:55. He's wearing confidence like armor. Sees Noah standing near the wall and smiles. It doesn't reach his eyes. Mr. Parker, I'm surprised to see you here. Shouldn't you be working on whatever projects Marcus has assigned you in your new position? I'm here because the board requested my presence. Conrad's smile sharpens. Ah, yes. The evidence. How convenient that you discovered information that discredits me right when Ms. Sterling needed a defense against concerns about her judgment. Almost suspicious, really. The evidence has timestamps. The IT forensics firm the board hired verified everything independently. The data doesn't care about convenience. We'll see what the board thinks. He walks into the conference room. The door closes behind him. Ava arrives last. She's in navy again. Her mother's scarf tucked into the collar of her blazer, visible just at the edges. She sees Noah, and something passes between them. Not quite a smile. More like mutual recognition of the cliff they're about to jump off together. Ready. Her voice is low enough that only he hears it. No, you? Terrified. But that's never stopped me before. She straightens her shoulders. Becomes the version of herself that rebuilt divisions and stared down men who thought she was decorative. Then she walks into conference room A, and Noah is alone in the hallway with Elena and the weight of what's coming. 25 minutes pass like hours. Noah can hear voices through the door. Formal, procedural, the rhythm of business being conducted by people who've done this 1,000 times. Then Elena's phone buzzes. She reads the message. They're ready for you. The conference room is all glass and power. 15 board members around a table that probably costs more than Noah's annual salary. Lake Michigan beyond the windows, gray and infinite under March clouds. Conrad sitting at one end looking calm. Ava at the other end looking composed, but Noah can see the tension in her jaw. Mr. Parker, thank you for joining us. The chairman is a woman in her 60s, silver hair, steel eyes. Margaret Chen. Marcus's mother, though they share only the last name and a reputation for cutting through nonsense. You've presented evidence suggesting board member Conrad Blake engaged in unauthorized disclosure of confidential company strategy. This is an extremely serious allegation. Walk us through your findings. Noah pulls out the tablet he prepared, connects it to the room's display system. The screen fills with email headers, routing logs, timestamps. 3 weeks ago, Highland Outdoor flagged concerns about a vendor they were considering for digital asset management. The vendor's data security protocols seemed inconsistent. I forwarded these concerns to Sterling's IT department per standard practice. He advances to the next slide. Network routing diagrams. IT he investigated. They found that information about Sterling's Highland strategy, including campaign concepts, budget allocations, and competitive positioning, was being forwarded to external email addresses. The routing pattern was sophisticated, but not sophisticated enough. The IP addresses traced back to Blake's strategic advisors. Conrad leans forward. This is absurd. I run a consulting firm. We have hundreds of clients. IP addresses can be spoofed. This proves nothing. Noah advances to the next slide. Email headers with metadata intact. These emails originated from your office, specifically from your administrative assistant's workstation. The timestamps correspond to meetings where Highland strategy was discussed. Within hours of those meetings, detailed summaries were sent to Highland's primary competitor Summit Gear, who coincidentally also happens to be a Blake Strategic Advisor's client. He pulls up financial records, public filings. Summit Gear pays Blake Strategic Advisors a monthly retainer of $50,000. They also paid a bonus of $200,000 in February, 1 week after receiving details about Sterling's Highland pitch that would have cost them a major account. The room goes silent. Margaret Chen's expression could cut glass. Mr. Blake, how do you respond to this? Conrad's composure cracks slightly. My firm provides strategic consulting. That's not illegal. If Sterling's security is so poor that information leaks, that's a Sterling problem, not a Blake problem. Noah advances to the final slide. An email exchange. This is from your personal email to Summit Gear's CEO. Dated March 3rd, you wrote, "Attached is the full Sterling Highland strategy. Use it wisely. And remember our arrangement when contract renewal comes up." He looks directly at Conrad. You weren't consulting. You were selling confidential information to a competitor. That's not poor security. That's industrial espionage. Conrad stands abruptly. This is a setup. A fabrication designed to discredit me because I raised legitimate concerns about Ms. Sterling's inappropriate relationship with a subordinate. Margaret Chen's voice cuts through. Sit down, Mr. Blake. He sits, but his face is red, angry in a way that makes Noah's instincts scream danger. Ms. Sterling. Do you have knowledge of this alleged relationship Mr. Blake references? Ava stands. Every eye turns to her. Yes, Noah Parker and I have developed personal feelings for each other. We disclosed this to HR yesterday morning. We've signed conflict of interest management agreements. Mr. Parker has been reassigned to eliminate any reporting relationship between us. Everything is documented and compliant with company policy. One of the older board members, someone Noah vaguely recognizes from company newsletters, speaks up. Nevertheless, the optics are concerning. A CEO and a mid-level employee. How do we know favoritism didn't influence the Highland account? Noah stands before Ava can respond. Because the work speaks for itself. Every deliverable is documented. Every strategy session had multiple participants. Highland chose Sterling because the pitch was excellent, and you can verify that with Highland directly. They specifically praised the strategic thinking and authentic approach. That came from collaborative work, not favoritism. He pulls up another document. Performance metrics. Here are my performance reviews for the past 3 years. Consistently strong. Before I ever met Ms. Sterling, before I transferred to this division, I earned my place here. What happened between us is separate from that. Conrad laughs. It's bitter and mean. How convenient. You just happen to have all this documentation ready. You just happen to discover my supposed wrongdoing right when you need leverage. And we're supposed to believe this is all coincidence. It's not coincidence. Noah's voice is steady. You came after Ava because she wouldn't defer to you. Because she made decisions based on what was right instead of what was traditional. You used my relationship with her as ammunition. So I looked closer at why you cared so much about discrediting her. And I found this. He gestures to the screen. You weren't protecting the company. You were protecting yourself. Because if Ava succeeded, if she proved that Sterling could grow without your old boys network approach, you became obsolete. And worse, she might actually look into your consulting arrangements and discover what you'd been doing. Margaret Chen holds up a hand. Enough. We've heard sufficient testimony. Mr. Parker, Ms. Sterling, please wait outside while the board deliberates. Ava and Noah file out. The door closes behind them. They're alone in the hallway except for Elena, who stationed herself near the elevator bank like a guard. Ava leans against the wall. For the first time since Noah's known her, she looks exhausted. That was either brilliant or career suicide, possibly both. He stands next to her, not touching, not yet, but close enough that he can feel her breathing. Worth it either way. You keep saying that, like you actually believe it. I do believe it. Conrad was destroying things because he could, because nobody stood up to him. If we'd stayed quiet, he'd still be here doing damage. At least now there's a chance. She turns to look at him. Really look at him. Like she's seeing something she didn't expect. How are you not angry? You just risked everything. Your career, your reputation. For a company that might not even protect you. I didn't do it for the company. I did it for you. And for Harper. Because I want her to grow up seeing that sometimes you have to fight even when it's scary. Even when you might lose, especially then. Something shifts in Ava's expression, like a wall coming down brick by brick. I don't deserve you. That's not how this works. We deserve each other, both our strengths and our complicated, messy realities. The conference room door opens. Elena straightens. Margaret Chen steps out alone. The board has reached a preliminary decision. Mr. Blake is being removed from the board, effective immediately pending a full investigation. Security will escort him from the building. If the investigation confirms what was presented today, we'll be referring this to law enforcement for potential prosecution. She looks at Ava. Ms. Sterling, you're confirmed as CEO. The board recognizes that your disclosure regarding Mr. Parker was appropriate and handled correctly. We're implementing new governance protocols to prevent future conflicts of this nature. You'll report directly to me as board chair on a quarterly basis. Any questions? Ava shakes her head. She looks like she's trying very hard not to cry. No questions. Thank you. Margaret turns to Noah. Mr. Parker, what you did took courage. It also made you some enemies. Not everyone in that room appreciated having Conrad's misconduct exposed so publicly. You'll need to be careful. Watch your back. Document everything. And keep doing excellent work. That's your best defense. Understood. She walks back into the conference room. Through the glass walls, Noah can see security approaching Conrad. His face is purple with rage. He's arguing, but they're not listening. Within minutes, he's being escorted toward the elevator, 2 security personnel on either side. As he passes Noah and Ava in the hallway, he stops. Security tenses but doesn't interfere. You think you've won. Both of you. But this isn't over. I have lawyers. I have friends. I'll make sure everyone knows exactly what kind of people you are, how you manipulated the system, how you destroyed a man's reputation for your own selfish. That's enough, Mr. Blake. Elena's voice is sharp. She steps between them. You're no longer a board member. You're currently under investigation. I strongly suggest you contact your attorney and stop speaking. Conrad looks at Ava one last time. There's something broken in his expression, like he genuinely believed he was protecting something valuable and can't understand why everyone's against him. This company was built on tradition, on relationships, on knowing how things work. You'll destroy it with your idealism, both of you. Then he's gone. Elevator doors closing. Security taking him down to ground level where more security waits to collect his building access cards, his laptop, everything that marked him as part of Sterling Media. The hallway is very quiet. Ava turns to Elena. What happens now? Elena pulls out her tablet. Now, you two come with me. We're filing the final conflict of interest documentation, making everything official, and then you both go back to work because this company doesn't run itself. They follow her to HR. The glass cube office feels different now. Less like a tribunal, more like a checkpoint. A necessary way station between what was and what's coming. Elena slides papers across her desk. They've been prepared already, just waiting for signatures. These formalize what we discussed yesterday. Mr. Parker, you're permanently reassigned to Broadcast Division under Marcus Chen. No overlap with Ms. Sterling's direct authority. Ms. Sterling, you're recused from any decisions affecting Mr. Parker's career progression. Quarterly check-ins with HR. Mandatory disclosure if the relationship changes, status ends, or creates any conflicts we haven't anticipated. She looks at both of them seriously. This is your permanent record. Every future employer will know about this. Some will admire the transparency. Some will see it as evidence of poor judgment. You're both choosing the hard path. Make sure it's worth it. Ava signs first. Her signature is precise, controlled. Then Noah. His hand is steadier than he expected. Elena witnesses, stamps, files, everything with the kind of efficiency that suggests she's done this before, though probably not in circumstances quite this dramatic. One more thing. She pulls out another document. Anti-retaliation policy. If anyone, and I mean anyone, treats either of you differently because of this disclosure, because of what happened with Conrad, because of your relationship, you report it immediately. We've updated the whistleblower protections to specifically cover situations like this. You came forward. The company protects people who come forward. That's new. Elena almost smiles. Margaret Chen insisted. She spent 30 years watching people stay quiet about misconduct because they were afraid of retaliation. She's done with that approach. This is the new Sterling Media. Still figuring out what that means, but we're trying. They leave HR. The elevator ride down is quiet. Ava gets off on 40, back to her office, back to the 100 decisions waiting for a CEO who just survived a coup. Noah continues to 19, back to his corner desk with its ventilation system view. Marcus Chen finds him 20 minutes later. So, that happened. Yeah, the whole building's talking about it. You know that, right, Conrad getting escorted out by security? The board meeting that went sideways. You and Ava. Noah closes his laptop. I figured. Marcus sits on the edge of Noah's desk. He's wearing the expression of someone who's thought carefully about what he's about to say. My mother called me. Told me what you did in that boardroom. Told me Conrad was selling company strategy to competitors for years, and nobody caught it because nobody wanted to look too close. Because he was connected. Because he'd been here forever. Because questioning him felt dangerous. He pauses. You questioned him anyway, exposed him, burned your bridges with everyone who was loyal to him. That took guts. Also, possibly stupidity. I haven't decided which. Both probably. Marcus grins. Definitely both. Here's what I need you to know. You're on my team now. That means I've got your back. But it also means I expect excellence. Not because you're dating the CEO. Because you're good at your job and I need good people. Don't make me regret taking you on. I won't. Good. Now get back to work. The streaming partnership pitch is due Friday and it's currently mediocre. Make it excellent. He walks away. Noah opens his laptop and dives into strategy documents. Does exactly what Marcus said. Gets back to work. Because that's how you survive the aftermath of explosions. You do the next right thing, then the next, then the next. His phone buzzes at lunch. Ava, how's your first full day in broadcasts? Intense. Marcus doesn't believe in gentle transitions. He's his mother's son. Listen, I have back-to-back meetings until 7, but after... Can you come by my place? We should probably talk about what happens next. Harper has a science fair planning meeting until 6:30. I can be there by 8. Perfect. I'll order food. What does Harper like? Everything except mushrooms. Why? Because I'd like to meet her properly. Not in a hospital. Not at a restaurant. Just, actually, meet the person who matters most to you. Noah stares at his phone. At this message that means Ava isn't treating Harper like an obligation or a complication. She's treating her like what she is, the center of Noah's universe. She'd like that. Fair warning, she'll ask you approximately 1 million questions. I'm counting on it. That night, after picking up Harper from her science fair meeting, where she and 3 other kids are apparently building a volcano large enough to require structural engineering consultation, Noah drives to Ava's apartment. It's in a building Noah's passed 100 times but never entered. Glass and steel and the kind of modern luxury that comes with heated bathroom floors and a doorman who knows everyone's name. Harper's buzzing with energy. Is her apartment fancy? Does she have a dog? Can I show her my cast drawings? Probably yes, no, and definitely yes. The elevator ride up is Harper's running commentary on what makes a good volcano, what makes a bad volcano, and whether Ms. Sterling prefers igneous or metamorphic rocks. I don't think she's chosen a rock preference bug. Everyone has a rock preference, Dad. They just might not know it yet. The elevator opens directly into Ava's apartment. Penthouse level. Floor-to-ceiling windows with a view that makes Harper gasp audibly. Ava's standing in her kitchen. She's changed out of her work clothes into jeans and a sweater. It's the first time Noah's seen her in actual, casual clothing. She looks younger. Almost unsure. Hi, come in. I ordered Thai food because Noah said you like everything except mushrooms, and Thai seemed safe. And I have juice boxes because the internet said 8-year-olds prefer juice boxes to wine. She's nervous. Ava Sterling, who stared down a board of directors this morning, is nervous about meeting his daughter. Harper walks straight up to her. Hi, Ms. Sterling. My dad says I can call you Ava if that's okay with you. I brought my volcano plans to show you because you said you liked volcanoes, but I want to make sure you were being honest, and not just nice. Ava kneels down to Harper's eye level. I was being honest. Volcanoes are genuinely cool, and yes, please call me Ava. Ms. Sterling makes me feel like I should be giving you a math test. Harper grins. Crisis averted. Friendship apparently established in under 30 seconds. They eat Thai food on Ava's couch. Harper explains her volcano plans with the kind of detail usually reserved for doctoral dissertations. Ava asks real questions, points out potential structural issues, suggests solutions. They debate the optimal baking soda to vinegar ratio like it's a matter of international importance. Noah watches from the kitchen where he's supposedly getting more juice boxes but really just observing 2 of the most important people in his life figure each other out. After dinner, Harper sprawls on the floor with her cast propped on a pillow and draws volcano designs in a notebook. Ava and Noah sit on the couch. Not quite touching, but close, aware of each other in that way that's become constant. She's incredible. Ava says it quietly. She is. I got lucky. That's not luck. That's you being a good father. Her mother made her who she is. I'm just trying not to mess it up. Ava's hand finds his, threads their fingers together where Harper can't see. You're not messing it up. You're showing her what brave looks like, what choosing hard things for the right reasons looks like. That matters more than perfect. They sit like that while Harper designs volcanoes and the city glitters beyond the windows, and Noah thinks about how strange it is that a mistyped text message led here. To this moment. This woman, this feeling that maybe finally he's allowed to want things again. At 8:30, Harper starts yawning. Fighting it, but losing. Time to go home, bug. But I haven't shown Ava the part where the lava... Tomorrow. You can show her tomorrow. Promise. Harper looks at Ava when she asks. Ava doesn't hesitate. Promise. I want to see the finished design, and I want to attend the science fair if that's allowed. Really, really. In the elevator going down, Harper leans against Noah's side. I like her dad. She's nice, but not fake nice, real nice. That's better. Yeah, that's way better. Can she come to my science fair? If she has time. She's pretty busy running a whole company. Harper considers this, but she made time for Thai food. So maybe she'll make time for volcanoes, too. Maybe she will. At home, after Harper's teeth are brushed and pajamas are on, and the galaxy projector is turning the ceiling into stars, Noah sits on the edge of her bed. Big day today. Did you do the hard thing? I did. Was it scary? Very, but worth it. Harper nods, satisfied with this answer. Mom was right. Brave isn't not being scared. It's being scared and doing it anyway. She was right about a lot of things. Do you think she'd like Ava? Noah thinks about Maya, about her fierce protection of the people she loved, about how she valued authenticity over performance, about the way she called out injustice even when it was uncomfortable. Yeah, Bug. I think she would. I think she'd like that Ava doesn't pretend to be someone she's not, that she fights for what's right even when it's hard. Your mom loved people who told the truth. Good, because I like her, and I want you to be happy. You've been sad for a long time, and I think maybe you're not sad anymore. Something catches in Noah's throat. I'm not sad anymore. You're right. He kisses her forehead, turns off the light, closes the door to exactly 1 inch open the way she likes it. In his own room, he texts Ava. Harper officially approves. She wants you at the science fair. The response comes immediately. I'll clear my schedule. Also, thank you for tonight, for letting me meet her properly, for trusting me with someone that important. Thank you for making time, for ordering juice boxes, for asking real questions about volcanoes. I genuinely care about the structural integrity of her design. We can't have exploding volcanoes in elementary schools. He's grinning at his phone like a teenager. You're going to fit right in with the PTA. Don't push your luck, Parker. Good night, Ava. Good night, Noah. He lies in bed thinking about the day, about Conrad being escorted out, about signing papers that make everything official, about Ava kneeling down to Harper's level and asking real questions, about his daughter saying, "You're not sad anymore." She's right, he's not sad. For the first time since Maya died, he's not just surviving. He's not just going through motions. He's actually genuinely, terrifyingly happy. And tomorrow he'll get up and do it again. Go to work. Be excellent. Love his daughter. Build something real with someone who chose truth over safety. It won't be easy. Conrad's lawyers will make noise. People will gossip. Some colleagues will judge them. The complications are real and coming. But tonight in the dark with Chicago humming beyond his windows, Noah Parker feels something he hasn't felt in 3 years. Hope. And the absolute certainty that he made the right choice. 3 months later, the world looks different. Not dramatically, just incrementally better the way things change when you stop fighting what you want and start building toward it. Saturday morning in Noah's apartment. Harper's at the kitchen table with her volcano, which has evolved from science fair project into engineering challenge. Baking soda and vinegar were deemed insufficient. Now she's researching chemical reactions that produce more dramatic eruptions without violating elementary school safety codes. Ava's there too. It's become routine. Friday nights she stays over, sleeps on the couch officially, though Noah's pretty sure Harper knows better. Saturday mornings they make pancakes together. Sunday afternoons, Ava goes home to catch up on the work that never really stops. Today, Ava's helping Harper reinforce the volcano's base structure with papier-mâché. She's wearing one of Noah's old Northwestern t-shirts, her hair in a messy bun, completely unself-conscious in a way she never is at the office. If we add another layer here, it'll distribute the weight better when the eruption happens. Harper nods seriously. Good thinking. Dad, can you get more newspaper? Noah's at the stove flipping pancakes. The domestic normalcy of this moment still catches him off guard sometimes. 3 months ago he was terrified of losing everything. Now he's making breakfast while his daughter and his girlfriend engineer a volcano. His phone buzzes. Marcus. Status update on the streaming partnership. Noah types back one-handed while flipping a pancake. Draft ready for Monday review. Projections look strong. Good. Stop working on Saturday. You texted me first. Fair point. Carry on. He sets the phone down. Ava catches his eye across the kitchen. She's got papier-mâché paste on her cheek. She looks happy. What? Nothing. Just this. He gestures at the scene. The volcano. The pancakes. The Saturday morning light coming through windows that haven't been replaced since the 70s. This is good. Yeah, it is. Harper looks up from her volcano. Are you guys being gross? We're literally on opposite sides of the room. You're making faces at each other. That's gross. Ava laughs. It's the real laugh, not the professional one. The kind that makes her whole face transform. Sorry, Harper. We'll try to be less gross. Thank you. They eat pancakes at the table that's too small for 3 people, but they make it work. Harper talks about Ryan Chen, who's apparently become her science fair partner after the apology. They're combining his project about circuits with her volcano to create an electrically triggered eruption system. Neither Noah nor Ava is entirely sure that's safe, but Harper's enthusiasm is hard to resist. After breakfast, while Harper's in her room working on calculations, Ava helps Noah clean up. They move around each other easily now. The careful distance from those early months has been replaced with casual intimacy. Her hand on his back as she reaches past him for a dish. His fingers brushing hers when they both grab the same mug. Next week is Maya's anniversary. Noah says it while drying a plate. Matter of fact, not trying to make it smaller than it is. Ava stops washing, turns to look at him. How are you feeling about it? He considers this. Honest answer, not the one that makes it easier. Sad, but not drowning sad. Just, she should be here. She should see Harper growing up. She should. And she's not, and that's always going to hurt. Ava reaches for a towel, dries her hands. Harper mentioned she wants to do something. A Remembrance Day, she called it. Yeah, we do it every year. Hot chocolate and sky lanterns. Look through photo albums. Tell stories about Maya so Harper doesn't forget. Can I? Would it be okay if I'm there? Not to intrude, just if you want support. He looks at her. At this woman who spent a decade building walls and is slowly, carefully taking them down. Who understands that loving him means loving his history. His daughter, the ghost of a woman she'll never meet. Maya would have liked you. She had a thing about people who don't apologize for taking up space, who fight even when it's uncomfortable. Ava's eyes get bright. She blinks fast. I'd like to be there, if Harper's okay with it. She is. She asked me to ask you. Didn't want you to feel obligated, but wanted you to know you're invited. Then I'll be there. The following Friday, the 3 of them gather in Noah's living room. Hot chocolate in mismatched mugs. Photo albums spread across the coffee table. The sky lanterns waiting by the window for when it gets dark. Harper's wearing Maya's Northwestern sweatshirt. It's huge on her sleeves, rolled up multiple times, but she insists every year. Says it makes her feel closer to her mom. Tell the one about when Mom tried to make pancakes and burned them so bad the smoke alarm went off. Noah grins. Your mom was brilliant at about 1,000 things. Cooking was not one of them. She could do surgery, she could diagnose complex medical conditions, but pancakes defeated her every single time. Harper giggles. She's heard this story before, but it never gets old. What was she good at cooking? Ordering takeout. She was exceptional at that. Ava's quiet listening. Learning Maya through these stories. Through Harper's memories and Noah's careful honoring of a woman who shaped everything he became. At 7, they go out to the small balcony. 3 sky lanterns, 1 for each of them. Harper lights hers first. Love you, Mom. Miss you every day. Hope you're proud of me. She lets it go. Watches it rise into the Chicago night, joining a few other lights drifting up from other balconies, other families marking other absences. Noah lights his. Thank you for Harper. For teaching me what brave looks like. For everything. His lantern follows Harper's. Then Ava lights hers. She hesitates, looking at Noah like she's asking permission. He nods. Maya, I never got to meet you, but I promise I'll take care of them. Not replace you. Just be here, for as long as they'll have me. Her lantern rises. The 3 of them stand there watching the lights drift higher and higher until they're just pinpricks against the dark, then nothing. Harper leans against Noah. He puts an arm around her. Ava stands close enough that their shoulders touch. You okay, Bug? Yeah, it's always sad. But I think Mom would be happy we're not sad all the time anymore. I think she'd want us to be happy. She would, definitely. That night, after Harper's asleep, Ava and Noah sit on his terrible couch with the springs that gave out 2 years ago and should probably be replaced, but somehow never is. Thank you for letting me be part of that. Thank you for being part of it. For understanding that she's still part of our family, even though she's gone. Always will be. They sit in comfortable silence, the kind that doesn't need filling. After a while, Ava shifts closer, fits herself against his side. Things are changing at Sterling. Good changes. The board approved new governance protocols, anonymous ethics reporting, mandatory training on retaliation. Margaret's pushing for more transparency across all divisions. That's huge. It is. And it happened because you stood up. Because you chose truth over safety. People noticed. Not everyone likes it, but everyone noticed. Conrad's lawyers making any progress. His case fell apart. The forensic evidence was too solid. He's settling out of court, paying restitution, agreeing to a 10-year non-compete. He'll never work in media again. How do you feel about that? She thinks about it. Really thinks. Relieved, but also sad. Maybe he spent decades building something and destroyed it because he couldn't adapt. Because he thought tradition meant resisting change instead of evolving. That's tragic. Very Ava Sterling of you. Finding empathy for someone who tried to destroy you. She elbows him gently. I'm not a monster. I just don't let empathy stop me from doing what's right. I know. It's one of my favorite things about you. One of many. She tips her head back to look at him. Name 3. 3 favorite things. Yes. He pretends to think hard about this. Your relentless competence. Your inability to wear any color except navy. The way you ask Harper real questions instead of talking down to her. Those are good answers. I'm good at answers. She kisses him. Soft and certain. When they break apart, she's smiling. Thank you. For tonight, for every night, for choosing this even when it was complicated. Complicated's not a deal breaker, it's just complicated. Very wise. I have my moments. The Monday after Maya's anniversary, Ava calls an all-hands meeting. The first since becoming CEO. The building's main auditorium fills with employees from every division. Noah sits in the back with his new broadcast team. Marcus next to him providing running commentary. She's good at this. Public speaking, Mom taught her. I can tell. Ava stands at the podium. No notes. Just her and a room full of people waiting to see what kind of leader she'll actually be. 3 months ago, this company was at a crossroads. We could continue operating the way we always had, protecting tradition at the expense of integrity. Or we could choose a harder path. Transparency, accountability, growth that doesn't compromise our values. She pauses, lets that land. We chose the hard path. Some of you know what that cost. Others don't need the details. What matters is this Sterling media is changing. We're implementing new governance structures, new ethics protocols, new parental leave policies that actually support working parents, new mentorship programs that give junior employees real advancement opportunities. Someone in the front row starts clapping, then someone else, then the whole room. It's not polished, not orchestrated, just genuine appreciation for someone actually doing what they said they'd do. Ava waits for the applause to die down. This isn't about one person. This is about building a culture where people can do excellent work without sacrificing their integrity, where you can speak up about problems without fear of retaliation, where we value results over politics and substance over optics. She looks out at the room. Her eyes find Noah for just a second. No one else would notice, but he sees it. We won't get everything right. We'll make mistakes. But we're going to make them while trying to be better, not while protecting what's broken. Thank you for being part of this. Now get back to work. The room laughs. Applauds again. People file out energized in a way Noah hasn't seen in months. Marcus elbows him. Your girlfriend's pretty impressive. She's not my girlfriend, we're dating. You're dating the CEO. It's been 3 months. Everyone knows you can say the word. Noah grins despite himself. Fine, yes, my girlfriend is impressive. That wasn't so hard. It really wasn't. April slides into May. The science fair happens. Harper's volcano performs flawlessly. The eruption is dramatic but contained. The electrical trigger system works perfectly. She and Ryan Chen win second place and are insufferably proud about it. Ava comes. Stands in the back of the elementary school gymnasium with Noah, watching Harper explain her project to judges in terms that sound suspiciously like they've been rehearsed with an actual CEO. She's going to run a company someday. Probably. She's got the focus for it. Does that scare you? Noah watches his daughter point enthusiastically at lava flow patterns. No, it makes me proud. She's fearless in the best way. Knows what she wants. Goes after it. That's Maya's gift to her, and yours. Maybe both. That night, after Harper's asleep with her second-place ribbon pinned to her bulletin board, Noah finds Ava on his building's roof deck. It's one of those perfect spring nights, warm enough that you don't need a jacket, but cool enough that the air feels alive. She's leaning on the railing looking out at the city lights, celebrating. Something like that. He joins her. They stand there in comfortable silence. I've been thinking. Dangerous. She elbows him, but she's smiling. Seriously. I've been thinking about next steps. What we're building. Where this goes. He turns to look at her. Her face is open in a way it rarely is. Vulnerable, but not scared. I'm not good at this. Relationships. Letting people in. I spent so long building walls that I forgot what it felt like to want someone to climb them. You're better at it than you think. I'm terrified most of the time. Terrified I'll mess this up. Terrified you'll realize I'm not worth the complications. Terrified Harper will decide she doesn't actually like having me around. Harper adores you. You know that. Logically, yes. Emotionally, I'm a mess. He takes her hand. Welcome to being human. It's uncomfortable. She laughs. Very uncomfortable. But also, worth it. You're worth it. You're worth it too. They stand there on the roof deck while Chicago hums below them, two people who found each other through chaos and chose to stay through complications. After a while, Noah speaks. "I love you." It's the first time he's said it. The words land in the space between them real and irrevocable. Ava turns to face him fully. "Say that again. I love you." Not in spite of the complications, because of how you handle them, because you choose truth over convenience, because you helped Harper build a volcano, because you wear navy every day except when you're wearing my old t-shirts, because you're brilliant and terrifying and somehow you chose me. She's crying. Not dramatically. Just tears sliding down her face that she doesn't bother wiping away. "I love you too. I think I have since that first boardroom presentation when you called out the previous agency. I just didn't know what to do with it. Kiss me probably would have worked. Noted for next time." She kisses him. On a roof deck in Logan Square with the spring night around them, and the city lights below, and everything they've built hanging in the balance, she kisses him like she means it. When they break apart, Noah reaches into his pocket. "I wasn't planning to do this tonight, but it feels right so." He pulls out a small box, opens it. Inside is a ring, simple, the kind that looks right when you're washing dishes or applauding at school performances. Harper and I talked about this. She gave her official approval, so I'm asking, will you be part of our family officially forever? Ava stares at the ring, at him. At this moment, that's nothing like she imagined and everything she didn't know she needed. Yes, she says it immediately. No hesitation, just certainty. Yes, yes, absolutely yes. He slides the ring on her finger. It fits perfectly because Harper traced Ava's hand one afternoon while they were drawing volcanoes, and he took the measurements to a jeweler who didn't ask questions. From somewhere below, a door opens. Harper's voice floats up. "Dad, Ava, are you up there?" They both freeze. Harper's supposed to be asleep. How long has she been awake? Unclear. Bug? What are you doing up? Harper appears at the top of the stairs in Maya's northwestern sweatshirt, looking pleased with herself. "I heard you leave. I wanted to see if you were proposing yet." "Did you propose?" "I did." "Did she say yes?" "She did." Harper runs over and launches herself at both of them. They catch her in a group hug that nearly tips them all over. This is the best. Now we can officially be a family. Can I help plan the wedding? Can we get a dog? Can we move to a house with a yard? One question at a time, Bug. But can we? Maybe, eventually. Let's start with getting used to being engaged. Harper accepts this, then seriously. Mom would be happy. I know she would. She always said you should find someone who makes you laugh and fights for what's right. Ava does both. Noah's throat closes up. Ava's holding him on one side, Harper on the other. And for the first time since Maya died, he doesn't feel like he's drowning. He feels like he's exactly where he's supposed to be. 1 year later, the backyard of a house in Ravenswood. Not huge, just big enough. 3 bedrooms, a yard, where Harper can build volcanoes without worrying about carpet damage, a porch swing that creaks when you sit on it. Friends scattered across the grass. Tyler manning the grill, somehow having appointed himself official caterer. Marcus and his wife arguing cheerfully about whether streaming platforms count as real television. Elena, from HR, keeping careful watch to make sure nobody mentions work, even though they're all technically colleagues. Harper runs past with Ryan Chen and 2 other kids from her science class. She's wearing the ribbon from last year's science fair pinned to her t-shirt like a badge. Her cast is long gone, replaced with a tan line from summer climbing. Inside the house, Ava and Noah stand in their kitchen. It's smaller than Ava's penthouse kitchen, but it's theirs. Together, officially. They got married 2 months ago in a ceremony small enough that Harper could help plan every detail and large enough that it felt real. This is surreal. Ava's looking out at the gathering, at the life they built. Good surreal or bad surreal? Good. Definitely good. I just keep waiting for the other shoe to drop, for it to be too good, too easy. It's not easy. We work at this every day. True, but it's worth working at. He puts his arm around her. She leans into him. Through the window, they watch Harper teaching the other kids how to properly test volcano models. Can you believe it started with a mistyped text message? Noah laughs. Worst mistake I ever made. Best mistake you ever made. Both. Definitely both. Tyler appears in the doorway. You two going to hide in here all day or actually join your own party? Ipsum. We're coming. Harper runs up to the window, presses her face against it. Come on. We're cutting the cake. You have to be there for cake. Ava and Noah head outside. The cake is homemade, slightly lopsided, decorated by Harper, with more enthusiasm than skill. It says, Happy Family Day, in frosting that's 3 different colors. Everyone gathers around. Ava and Noah hold the knife together. Harper insists on helping, so it's 3 sets of hands cutting into a cake that represents everything they built from chaos. Speech. Someone calls out. No speeches. Noah's trying to protest. Speech. The crowd picks it up. He looks at Ava. She shrugs. You started this. Fine. He clears his throat. 1 year ago, I sent the wrong text to the wrong person and it changed my life. Ava could have fired me. She didn't. She could have kept things professional. She didn't. Instead, she chose the hard path, the honest path. And because of that choice, we're here. Harper has a mother figure who actually listens to volcano lectures. I have a partner who challenges me to be better. We have a family that's chosen, not just given. So thank you for being part of this, for supporting us when it was complicated, for being here now when it's complicated in different ways. To wrong numbers and right people. To wrong numbers and right people. Everyone drinks. The party continues. Harper distributes cake with the solemnity of someone handling nuclear materials. Tyler tells embarrassing stories about Noah in college. Marcus predicts that Ava will be running a Fortune 500 company within 5 years. As the sun sets, Ava and Noah end up on the porch swing. The party's winding down. People saying goodbyes. Harper playing one last game with her friends before they have to leave. You okay? More than okay. This is everything I didn't know I could have. She rests her head on his shoulder. Same. I spent so long thinking relationships were liabilities. Distractions from what mattered. Turns out what matters is exactly this. People who see you completely and don't run away. People who help build volcanoes. Especially people who help build volcanoes. They swing gently. The chains creak. Harper's laugh carries across the yard. The sky shifts from blue to pink to purple. Chicago's summer sunset doing what it does. Inside the house, framed on the mantel, there's a photo from their wedding. Harper in the middle, Noah and Ava on either side, all 3 of them laughing at something Tyler said right before the photographer clicked the shutter. Next to it, in a smaller frame, the photo of Maya that's always been part of their family. Will always be part of their family. You know what I never told you. Ava shifts to look at him. What? That night I sent the wrong text. I was on the train exhausted, juggling groceries and Harper's homework questions. And I looked out the window and saw my reflection and thought, this is it. This is my life. Work and parenting and trying not to drown. And I was okay with that, content maybe, but not happy. And now I'm happy. Terrified and exhausted and happy. Still juggling too much, still making mistakes, but choosing to be alive instead of just surviving. She kisses his temple. Best wrong number ever. Yeah, it really was. Harper runs up to the porch breathless. Can we do sky lanterns like we did for Mom? On her anniversary, sure. No tonight, for all of us. For the family we are now. Mom's still part of it, but we can celebrate what we built too, right? Ava and Noah exchange a look. Harper's wisdom, delivered with the matter-of-fact certainty of a 9-year-old who's figured out something adults complicate. Yeah, Bug, we can do that. They set up 3 lanterns in the backyard. The remaining guests gather to watch. Harper lights hers first. To families you choose. To people who stay. To building things that matter. She releases it. The lantern rises glowing against the darkening sky. Noah goes next. to second chances, to brave daughters, to finding love after you thought you were done looking. His lantern follows Harper's. Ava lights the last one. Her hands are steady. To texts sent to the wrong person that turn out to be exactly right. To families built from chaos. To choosing truth over safety always. Her lantern rises. The three of them stand together watching the lights drift higher and higher, carrying their gratitude into the night. Tyler appears with his phone. Got a great shot. You three look disgustingly happy. He shows them the screen. Ava and Noah on either side of Harper, all three faces upturned, lit by lantern glow connected in ways that go deeper than blood or paperwork or any legal definition of family. Send that to me. Noah says it. Ava nods agreement. Harper beams. Already did. The party ends. Friends drift away. Harper falls asleep on the couch mid-sentence, exhausted by celebration and joy. Noah carries her to her room, tucks her in under her galaxy projector. Ava stands in the doorway watching this woman who was terrified of softness, learning that strength includes tenderness. Later in their own room, the house finally quiet. Ava and Noah lie in bed talking about nothing and everything. About Harper's upcoming school year. About Sterling Media's Q3 projections. About whether they should actually get a dog like Harper keeps requesting. We built something good here. Ava says it into the darkness. We did. It wasn't easy. No, but easy's overrated. She turns to face him. Thank you. For that text. For choosing honesty. For letting me be part of this. Thank you for not firing me when you had every reason to. Best decision I ever made. They lie there in the dark of their chosen home with their chosen family, and Noah thinks about that night on the CTA train. About 5 words sent to the wrong person that became the right beginning. About how sometimes the best things in life come from mistakes. From chaos. From moments when everything falls apart and you're forced to decide what matters most. He chose truth. Ava chose courage. Harper chose to trust that new family could coexist with honoring the old. And from those choices they built this. A life that's complicated and messy and absolutely worth every difficult moment. Outside, the last sky lantern finally disappears into the night. Inside, 3 people sleep under one roof, bound by love. They chose family they built, and the enduring truth that sometimes the wrong text message sends you exactly where you need to go.